What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and tell you all your tech news in one single video. And just when I thought there was no more information left for the Galaxy S20 to be leaked out, we get more information, more leaks, more comparisons, more everything. And that's not it. We talk about Peacock as well. Find out what Peacock is, guys. Let me know what your favorite story is, and I will see you in the next one. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is if you're an LG fan and you're in the US, you can now get their completely wireless earbuds. They're called the LG Tone Free. Break that down, UV nano. Charging case reduces bacteria on the earbud. Also, wireless earbuds with Meridian audio technology, semi-open design for all-day wear, multi-layer metal speakers for superior sound. For their sound, they're saying luxury high-performance audio. They're also saying the pioneers of high-resolution audio, Meridian. You might be wondering about the battery life. You can see right here. Enjoy 6 hours of music playtime on one charge. So that's just through the earbuds. And then the case gives you an additional 21 hours of total music playtime. Also, you can charge these up in 5 minutes and it'll give you 1 hour of playtime for the buds. They are IPX4 water and sweat resistant. Automatic ear detection, so when you put them in your ears and take them out, the music will stop and play. And as for noise cancellation, it just says they have noise reduction, echo cancellation, so it's not a true noise cancellation, but it should give you some cancellation within there. Next up is about the next OnePlus phone, which will be the OnePlus 8. You can see right here, next OnePlus flagship will have 120 hertz Samsung display, which I don't think they used that before. They might have used a Samsung display, I'm not sure, but this year's will definitely use a Samsung display. And not only will it have a Samsung display at 120 hertz, but also HDR will be built into it and 1000 nits, so it's going to be very, very bright. OnePlus 7 Pro, not so bright. OnePlus 8 will definitely be very bright. Think Galaxy Note 10 range, S10 range, somewhere in that. That's how bright it's going to be. It should be an amazing phone for OnePlus based off that alone. And then the last story of the day is coming from Ice Universe. As you can see, the standard configuration, 12 gigabytes of RAM, LPDDR5, and you might be wondering, well, what phone is he talking about? He almost always exclusively talks about Samsung phones. When you go down a little bit further, someone asked, all of the Galaxy phones or just the Ultra? And he said all of them. So all of the Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, and S20 Ultra are all going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM. Kind of surprising that they're going to put 12 gigabytes of RAM in every single version of the Galaxy S20. The reason I say that is because you think they want to create some kind of separation besides the cameras, maybe besides the screen sizes and besides the battery sizes. So at that point, maybe these phones are going to be priced very, very close to each other so that you want to go to that huge phone, or, because you're not worried about the price. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they're doing this so that really not that much is different about them except maybe the camera? And the camera's only different on the Ultra versus the Plus and the non-Plus. Those are going to have the 12 megapixel. The Ultra will have the 108 megapixel. And then you're breaking it down, they're probably all the same processor. Basically, these phones should be very, very close in everything. So what do you think the prices are gonna be? Let me know your prices. Let's get into the news. We have so much news on the Galaxy S20 phones. Some of it is amazing. Some of it might disappoint you. Let's jump into it. First story, and these are mostly tweets from Max Weinbach, who's been a huge leaker in the last couple of days. He's a huge leaker overall, but just in the last few days with the Galaxy S20 stuff. So the first one, as you can see right here, the S20 Ultra 5G is going to keep the SD card slot, support for up to 1 terabyte. Let's talk about that right there. It seems like the S20 Plus and S20 will not have SD card support, so keep that in mind. It looks like only the Ultra version will have it. Also, the S20 Ultra 5G will be available in 128, 256, 512 gigabytes of storage. Kind of what I expected. I didn't expect Samsung to stick with 1 terabyte anymore of this, so I think 512 is where it's gonna max out. Also, it'll have 12 and 16 gigabytes of RAM options. Remember, 12 is the max right now with any phone that Samsung has, and it looks like it's gonna jump to 16 gigabytes with the S20 Ultra 5G. Crazy, crazy amount of RAM. Is it needed? Probably not. Will you get it? Maybe, right? Cameras, 108 megapixel main camera, 48 megapixel 10 times optical zoom camera, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Nothing too crazy that we didn't expect. The 10 times optical is a bit of a surprise though. That's crazy. Battery, 5,000 milliamp battery with 45 watt option to fast charge, and it'll fast charge it from 0 to 100 in 74 minutes. That's a 5,000 milliamp battery, very fast charging. Awesome to see that there. Another tweet he put out is that all three S20s, S20, S20 Plus, S20 Ultra, will have, or should have, he's saying, eSIM support, which is the ability to not have to use a SIM card if you don't want to. A lot of time, like Pixel phones have a SIM card and an eSIM. So basically you just, if it's an eSIM, you just read the number to the carrier or type it in, and then that's it. We're similar to a SIM card, you just don't have to take anything physically out. If you want some of the Galaxy S20 wallpapers, here they are for download. You can put these on any device you want right now. It's directly from XDA developers. Again, all this stuff will be linked down below. If you're curious about the cameras for the S20, S20 Plus, S20 Ultra, you're looking at 12 megapixel, 12 megapixel, 108 megapixel, and then 64, 64, 48, and then 12 megapixel have the same. So basically it's gonna have, the only cameras it's gonna have the same is the same ultra wide. Also time of flight will be on the S20 Plus and S20U. So there you go with the camera breakdown. This is where the disappointing noise comes into play. Ice Universe said it is now, and we talked about this, he went back and forth with this, but now he's saying it's confirmed. It can now be said with certainty that Samsung has canceled 2K plus 120 hertz option of the Galaxy S20 series of phones. That doesn't matter which phone you have, S20, S20 Plus, S20 Ultra, leaving only 1080p 60 hertz, 1080p 120 hertz, and 2K plus 60 hertz. This means that we can't have the best resolution and the best refresh rate at the same time. What is your opinion on this? And I think for me, it probably, if you just blind tested me with 1080 and 2K, I probably wouldn't even notice a difference. But in my mind, knowing this, it's disappointing. To break it down a little bit further, Max Weinbach went on to say it's a 3200 by 1440 display at 120 hertz. But when you enable 120 hertz, it sets the display rendering resolution to Full HD Plus, which will be 1400 by 1080. And when you enable WQHD Plus, which is 3200 by 1440, it disables 120, putting it back at 60 hertz. And then finishing up on the foldable phone, we get some more information. This is from Max Weinbach as well. The Galaxy Flip Z has a 3300 milliamp battery along with a Snapdragon 855. This should be pretty okay, and everything about the same battery size as the mid-size S10. So you can see they're using last year's processor. The phone that you probably have has an 855, which is honestly perfectly fine, very fast processor. And the last tweet he put out about the Galaxy Z Flip is that that's going to be the name for it. And he says that they're going to be using ultra thin glass and plastic. Samsung will be layering a plastic over the ultra thin glass for extra protection. If it gets scratched, it's only the plastic and not the display. So a ton of takeaways with today's leaks and news from today. 1080p plus 120 is going to be the only available option on the Galaxy S20 line of phones, no matter what you choose. Galaxy Z Flip phone is going to be a mid-range, not really mid-range, I would say like a premium 2019 phone released in 2020. And the Ultra phone is going to have a ton of RAM and a huge amount of specs for it, up to 16 gigabytes of RAM. Let's get into the tech news. We've got a bunch of stories about the Galaxy S20, so let's jump right into it. First story of the day is we have some screenshots of the screen refresh rate. So if you're curious what it looks like on the new Galaxy S20 phones, you can see at the top here, it breaks it down. It shows 60 hertz and 120 hertz. And down below that, you'll see adjust your screen's refresh rate. High, always use 120 hertz for more realistic animations and smoother scrolling, or you can leave it at standard and always use 60 hertz for longer battery life. So they obviously make the distinction that you're gonna get better battery life if you keep it at 60 rather than 120. Also remember that at 120, it only runs at 1080p plus. It will not run at the full resolution of 2K plus. It looks like they're doing this for battery reasons because there could be some issues with it destroying the battery on this phone. We also have a screenshot on the fingerprint sensor. So it's gonna look basically identical to any of the phones that you have currently that have a Galaxy phone that have the in-display fingerprint sensor. It also looks like it's going to be the same exact fingerprint sensor as you would get with, say, a Galaxy Note 10, Note 10 Plus. It does not look like it's going to have the new Qualcomm 3D Sonic Max fingerprint sensor, which is supposed to be faster, better, be a bigger area that you can unlock the phone. So it doesn't look like they're using that specific one, unfortunately. But if you're a fan of the in-display fingerprint sensor, it looks like they're gonna use exactly the same one. Next up is from Max Weinbeck. You can see these are the reported specs for the Galaxy S20 Plus with what we know basically so far. So a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display, 120 hertz. The resolution is going to be 3200 by 1440. The storage size is 128 to 512 gigabytes, anywhere in that range, 128, 256, or 512. With UFS 3 storage, that's the fastest available storage currently for mobile phones. That was the same storage that was in the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. 12 gigabytes of RAM is going to be the max on the Plus model. Remember, you'll be able to get 16 gigabytes on the Ultra version up to it. The cameras are 12 megapixel, and 64 megapixel, and a time of flight. Ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, like we just talked about. 4,500 milliamp battery, so fairly good sized battery in there with 25 watt fast charge. Doesn't look like it's going to offer that 45 watt charging that's available on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And then processor, you're looking at a Snapdragon 865 or an Exynos 990, depending upon where you are. And then lastly, this is definitely a really cool photo. It's the S20 Plus next to a Galaxy S10 Plus. So you see the Galaxy S10 Plus on the left and then the S20 Plus on the right. And remember, this is a bigger phone, obviously overall, the S20 Plus. It's a 6.7-inch display. The S10 Plus, if I remember correctly, was a 6.5-inch display at that. So you're getting a bigger phone with better specs, and it might be a phone that most people want. Maybe they don't want the Ultra, and you can see you're gonna get a bigger phone so you can watch your YouTube videos, your Netflix, your games, your whatever you're doing, your mobile sites, everything. Also remember, there is no headphone jack in the S20 line of phones like there was in the S10. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, we know these S20s don't have 120 hertz at 2K display, and also the fingerprint sensor doesn't seem to be the latest and greatest one that Qualcomm has created. I feel like as long as they put out the next Galaxy Note phone, Note 20 is probably what they're gonna call it, I feel like they're gonna save that stuff for that phone, so it's just ever so slightly better than the Galaxy S20 phone. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Galaxy Z Flip. That's gonna be their clamshell foldable smartphone that they're gonna release in February of this year, so basically next month. It's potentially the full successor to the Samsung Galaxy Fold, or maybe it's just a different foldable design for them overall in terms of what they're gonna release for foldable phones. But regardless, pricing has kind of been leaked. Now, we've seen rumored pricing before. This is coming straight from a news agency in South Korea called iNews24, and you can see right here, Galaxy Fold sequel Z Flip named. The price is as low as 1 million won. Now, I translated that or exchanged it into American dollars, and that ends up being roughly 850 bucks. It says $862, but there's no way they're gonna sell it for $862. It's gonna be 850 bucks, it looks like, for this phone. And later on in the article, they say Z Flip will be released as an LTE only model and will be equipped with the Snapdragon 855, which was adopted in premium phones in 2019. The rear dual camera structure contrasts the S20 with the 5 camera structure as well. The screen uses ultra thin glass to prevent center folds, which is one of the drawbacks of the Fold as a foldable phone. The design is improved, but the price is somewhat lowered considering the Z Flip is expected to be released in February after unpacked. Potentially a very compelling price for people to say, hey, do I want a completely somewhat new technology that, this phone has really good specs, even if they're from last year, or do I want the newest, latest, and greatest candy bar phone that Samsung's gonna release from the Galaxy S20 line? I don't know, what do you guys think? And the last story of the day is a 3D printed model of the Galaxy S20 Ultra versus the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And this 3D printout and image comes from Max Weinbeck, and you can see it next to his Aura Glow Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And the Galaxy S20 Ultra, I should say, will have a 6.9-inch display. The Note 10 Plus has about a 6.8-inch display, so it's gonna be a little bit bigger. But as you can see, just based off what this looks like, they're going with the rounded edges around the corners for the S20 Ultra versus the squared off design with the Note 10 Plus. And then it looks like the Ultra phone is a little bit taller anyway, longer, and versus the Note 10 Plus. And also the aspect ratio will be 20.9 versus 19.9 on the Note 10 Plus. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Pixel 4a. Now, if you remember, we had the Pixel 3a and 3a XL, which were mid-range Pixel phones with specs and performance that were actually pretty damn good, especially for the price. They were in that $400 to $500 range. Well, we've got some information on the 4a, and this comes from XDA developers saying Google may be working on two mid-range Pixel phones for 2020, one with the 5G Snapdragon 765 and another with the 4G Snapdragon 730. Now, rumors have been going back and forth that there's only going to be a 4A and not a 4A XL, but then there's been rumors that there will be both of those in terms of the sizes. So if the 5G and the LTE variant of the Pixel 4a come out, it might just be one design. It might not be the XL, or it might be the XL and the smaller one. So we don't know yet, but still, very interesting news to see a 5G version of a Pixel 4a to be coming out most likely in the middle of this year. Next up, if you're looking to get the Samsung Galaxy Buds, they are currently on sale on Amazon. I'll have them linked in the description down below, and they're only $99.99. Fantastic earphones, especially if you have an Android phone or Galaxy phone. They do work with iPhones as well. You just can't customize them with some of the controls built into the app because the app's not available on iOS. But regardless, if you have an Android or a Galaxy phone, which are basically the same thing, you can use these to their full potential and enjoy them. Really great headphones, charging them wirelessly. They have good sound. Check them out. But one thing to keep in mind, Galaxy Bud Pluses are due to be coming out probably next month with better sound, same design, but better sound overall. But these still sound really, really good. And I doubt the Galaxy Buds Plus are gonna be $99.99. And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy S20. As you know, when you buy an S phone or a Note phone, you end up usually getting a free Fortnite skin. I'm not huge into Fortnite. I know a lot of you guys are, and I know the rest of the world truly is. And this tweet comes from Fortnite News, who has referenced Max Weinbach as well, saying the leaked iris skin is rumored to be an upcoming Galaxy S11, S20 exclusive cosmetic. The phones get revealed on February 11th. And as you can see, again, I don't know if this character's already been out and they're just getting a customized version, but it looks like she's gonna look like this, the skin that you can download. So there you go. That'll be the new skin that'll be for free with Galaxy S20 owners for the upcoming phone on February 11th. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Galaxy Z Flip, and as you can see from the headline, it's only going to have one official leather cover, and it's going to cost $100. Now, that doesn't mean that this phone can't have third-party cases that you can get, but any first-party cases, it seems like there's only going to be one. It's going to be from Samsung, $100, very expensive. And if you don't remember, this is going to be the foldable phone that just kind of closes like an old school flip phone, but doesn't have a keyboard. It's just all screen, and it's supposed to cost anywhere between probably $800 to $1,000, which is a very, very impressive price. Snapdragon 855, 2 cameras on the back. It's not going to be the most highly spec'd out phone, but I think I want it. I'm still will probably use the Ultra 5G one, the Galaxy S20, as my main phone. But I have a couple other lines. I might throw that one on as it and trade in or sell one of my other phones that I have. What do you guys think? Are you guys gonna pick this phone up as your main phone or as a secondary phone? And also, what do you think about that very expensive case? Last two stories are about the Galaxy S20 line of phones. The first one is about the release date. This tweet comes from Ishan Agarwal, who says, delivery sales for the S20 series phones will probably start around 13th of March. Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G is going to be 221 grams, almost as much as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is pretty heavy, which I totally agree. One of the main things about the iPhone 11 Pro Max when I had that phone is how heavy it is. But yes, the Ultra is going to be a 6.9B, so expected aluminum frame for the S20 Plus. And before we jump into the last story about the Galaxy S20, the release date, March 13th, that's really, really far away, especially when you know that February 11th is going to be the announcement of the phone. It doesn't match up with what they've done in the past. Usually when they announce their phone, they release it 2 weeks later. Seems kind of weird that they're gonna wait basically another 4 weeks for this to be released. Maybe that's what they're gonna do. Maybe they want 5G to be even more prevalent all throughout the world and throughout the United States for that extra month. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but March 13th is looking like the release date for the Galaxy S20. And the last story of the day, again, also about the S20 line of phones, is the specs that we expect to have on these phones. And you can see across the board, 120 hertz Infinity O dynamic AMOLED display, Dolby Atmos stereo speakers by AKG. Across the board, a 6.9, 6.7, and 6.2 display size, along with all of them have the same resolution at 3200 by 1440p with a 20:9 aspect ratio. And then the weight size is 221 grams, 188 grams, and 164 grams. It does say Exynos 990, but this is just for the Europeans. Most of the other countries are gonna have the Snapdragon 865, such as America, China, and other countries as well. Storage sizes, you can see 512 and 128 with micro SD up to 1 terabyte for the Ultra. For the S20 Plus, you can only, looks like, get it in 128 with a micro SD, same as the S20 5G. Cameras are going to be almost the same. 108 megapixel for the main camera on the Ultra, only 12 megapixel on the Plus and the regular. And then the other big difference on here also, you can see 8K 30 frames per second video recording, and then also 100x digital zoom and 10 times optical zoom on the Ultras. The Ultra is really bringing the cameras to the forefront and making them a lot better, or at least theoretically a lot better. Front cameras, you can see on here, 40 megapixel wide front camera on the S20 Ultra 5G with 4K 60. Only 4K 30 was available on there previously. And then on the Plus and the regular, you can get 10 megapixel front camera with 4K 60 video recording as well. Nice little addition to that. 5,000 milliamp battery on the Ultra, 45 on the Plus, and 4,000 on the regular S20. And then other than that, it's going to have Android 10. It says One UI 2.0, but it should be One UI 2.1. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is NBC Peacock. Now there's so many streaming services right now. You got Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. You've got so many, and NBC's Peacock is the next one, and it's going to be their streaming service. It's going to either be free if you want commercials, or $4.99 if you want commercials as well, but I guess it just adds, some more premium content, and then $9.99 for completely commercial free. Premium subscribers and the $9.99 tier as well will get exclusive access to additional TV shows and movies for a total of 15,000 hours of content. Comes out July 15th. If you have a cable provider, you potentially can get it early as April 15th. Next up, Google Pixel 4 and 4 XL are on sale at Amazon right now. $699 for the Pixel 4, $799 for the Pixel 4 XL. Both of them come with $200 gift cards, so very, very good deal. You can get these available right now. It is linked down below. This is a great phone, 90 hertz display. Why not? And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy S20. One of the colors that's going to be coming out will be gray, and it's potentially going to look just like this from the Galaxy Note 8, this gray color here, which is almost kind of a matte looking gray. I like it. I think it's a cool looking gray color for a phone, especially nowadays where everything's so colorful and bright. It's kind of the, a toned down, matted type look. And I think people will want it. I potentially might want this color. What do you guys think? You like the color of this gray color for the Galaxy S20 coming out, the Ultra version? Or is it turn you off? You wouldn't get this color? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day, and I will see you down the road. Peace.